All right, welcome back. Another Supernaut 2.0. We're doing this one with actually more burst probably than the other build. So I've been using this, testing it, I guess, for a couple weeks, and it performs pretty damn well. I will honestly say I spent a lot of time on it because I know how strong the setup is and the stats and everything, but the difference with this one from the first Supernaut build when I released it, I guess, is just the environment. A lot of people are beefier, is the best way I can put it in short. Targets aren't as easy to kill, and I think it's because of all the set options out there. And just there's a lot of certain sets out there that you run into very commonly, like Malabeth or Reactive is very common on healers packed in groups. So it just and that stuff was around them, but I guess you'd only have some of it, but now you can use it together. So the build's still solid, though. I did group play with it. I did solo play as well to try it out. I was actually Emperor on this. I didn't cut any clips, actually, of Emperor. I will put those on the YouTube as well. But they were very fun. I got Emperor by making about 500,000 AP on this in like 6 hours streaming when I put it together. And about 300k of that was solo, and then I grouped up with the Stamplar. I'm going to show some of that footage at the end of the video. Just the general killing, how it works. So this build, its main function though, like I like to test if it can work 1vx. But it's definitely geared to be played either in a small group or at least with a partner. If you partner up with somebody on this build, like you can go in and burst some people and really just still smash them straight up right at the start. You have good survival. You have very good sustain. But it has really strong punch power. But I prefer using it with at least a partner. That's really what it's aimed for. Like there is some downtime compared to other builds because it's using Alchemist. So it's not bad though. Your damage is still good when that's not up, but there's other ones where you could have just like straight damage flat for a while. Or honestly, 1vxing is just better with proc sets right now. Proc sets are very good in 1vx. They're obviously a big issue. I tried to make this build without using much. Let's go to the equipment and explain that. So I am using Veldrith. It's a proc set, okay? It's been around a bit. It's still very strong. And basically, I tried this build with a lot of different monster sets. Stormfist. Problem with Stormfist is I can't keep the targets pinned long enough for it to be effective. It can hit some people, but the people it matters that you want to hit is not, it's not going to hit them. I don't know. Tremor, not in there. We're not sword and boarding. And then Veladrith just hits hard. The other one I tried was Slime Crawl. The Slime Crawl is just, let me see if I can show it to you. It's 8% passive. It's very overlooked. You won't see many people trying this, but I did try this out a bit. It gives you Minor Berserk, which is very strong. It's just 8% damage. It applies to everything, whether it's your ult, your poison procking, you know, crit rush, you name it. Your execute, your hurricane, applies on everything. So it's very good. I may use this in other builds, but still, the reason I went Veladrith is there's just a lot of situations where you're not going to kill somebody without having like that extra punch in there, especially when you're fighting against a lot of particular setups right now. There's just people just have more health overall. If you're fighting a healer, he's not somewhere between 20 to 30. Now he may be somewhere between 30 to 40k health, and that's just you just need some extra punch power sometimes. It's also, it just makes so much sense with this build. You have a lot of mobility. You go right in, you drop the old Veladrith proc. It's right, like you line targets up with this, so like you can hit multiple people. And that's what it's designed to do. It's meant to be a group busting build, if you're unfamiliar with the first one. So anyway, we're using two-piece Veladrith. I have one medium, one heavy, Impen. I want to go Impen everywhere. Here I have 5 Alchemists on the body. Actually, sorry, I have 4 Alchemists on the body. So you can have this in any of these 5 body slots or 4 of these 5 body slots, you want to do that. Spriggan's going to be the last one. So basically, you get a Spriggan somewhere in here. Prefer to put your medium on a lighter piece. You can run this as 6-1 with 6 heavy, 1 medium. You could run 5-1-1 if you wanted with a monster light piece. I prefer not to at this point. I just like to get more armor. Medium's not a far drop from heavy, but if you have to have medium, put it on a lighter part. If you can help it, you might as well. I didn't gold out a lot of the armor, although I probably will. So there's that. On the back, on the bow bar, this is our back bar, is the Alchemist bow. So this is how we have a 5-piece alch. We proc our pot on the back bar to get the buff from the 5-piece. We go to the 2-hander and we rip some serious damage. Before we do that, you're going to light attack when you go in. So I'll give you an example. See if I got some junk pots to show you real quick. Then we'll jump back to the rest of the equipment. But just to show you real quick how this works. So there's Surge I put up. I have 2,800 weapon damage. I'm going to pop a pot, Alchemist, light attack, go back to 2-hander. I'm at 4,271 weapon damage. Okay. And this is when we're going to drop. Like, we're going to go in with a Dawnbreaker, the Veladrith will proc. All that stuff is going to go. That's go time when that happens. That's when you pull the trigger. So, sharpened. It can honestly, this is your back bar. So this can be your retreat bar. This could have defending on it just as well. I don't find myself really needing that. I end up on the 2-hander bar a lot, rally and streaking anyway. I just come over here kind of to Dark Deal and Vigor and reapply the other buffs. So that's what we have there. Then, again, we have the Spriggan belt here in pen. We have 3 Spriggan jewelry and then a great sword. I wasn't able to get hulking. I wanted to test it, but Issa had tested a similar setup and pretty much said Spriggan's performing better. I'm going to take his word on it because I take his word on a lot of things. He's a big numbers guy for me. If a lot of you don't know that, I think that's known by a lot of people. Issa is he grinds out a lot of numbers. So anyway, this is the setup here. Spriggan Greatsword looks pretty cool too. It's pretty awesome looking. You could go axe. Axe is actually really easy to get. This thing, it's a unique item, which means it drops from some mob. So you'll see people sell this pretty cheap. So that's not bad to get. Getting 1 body piece is pretty cheap, and the jewels aren't bad either. They're not too bad. But anyway, pretty straightforward to buy. Not overly expensive as compared to some one-handed swords out there that are tough to get. Like one-handed sword, Spriggan's tougher to get. But the greatsword is just the extra damage, which is going to pay off more when you're busting. Like, that's why I don't have the axe for the bleed, because that's not what this build is. This is meant to hit people and kill them quick. So skill overview real quick. Crit rush is the same as all my 2-hander bars. Streak here, sorry. Crit rush, dizzying swing, rally, reverse slice, Dawnbreaker. So we have the AoE execute. We're trying to bust people. Crit surge, shuffle, hurricane, vigor, dark deal, and then over here we have rearming trap on the overload bar, dark deal, vigor again, caltrops, and then I have spell symmetry, which I think a lot of you are familiar with. The how I'll dump my health sometimes for Stam. Like if I disengage from a fight and I'm low on Stam, I will do a spell symmetry, which will give me mana, dark deal, spell symmetry. You know, you can see my Stam going up. And you can come back over here, buff crit surge for almost no cost, and like you're good to go. Do this, pots up, pop your pot on your bow bar, light attack, then you're going back in. Okay, that's kind of the in and out maneuver, building ults and smashing targets when they line up in your favor. So I showed you again how to use the Alchemist. That's pretty much understood. We have all of these buffs like rally. That's pretty much my buff rotation, right? If I'm going in on something, if I don't do it off the back bar like I just did, I'll come in, I'll crit surge, You know, Hurricane, Shuffle. You can Dark Deal to replenish before you do that, but come up. If it goes for more than 5 seconds, I'll re-Hurricane after I light attack, do the pot, come in, and go on my target. Let's find like a giant just to play it out. Something that requires a little more. Or here we go. This will work well. So you put your buffs up over here. Do this. We're gonna light attack, pop a pot, crit rush in, line them up for Veladrith. I mean, you see it procced right away, but it's going to proc on something. It's going to at least hit some of the targets that you Dawn Break, as long as you line up a proper Dawn Breaker. Now, the other big thing about this is, I can go through stats with you actually real quick before we switch into something else. You saw my buffed weapon damage. It's like 4,200. But here's pretty much everything else. You got about 20k on armor, it looks like. So the crit's at 35.9 right now. Stam recovery super low. About 35k in Stam, and you have a good chunk of health still, which is thanks to our Alchemist and heavy armor setup. A lot of received healing. So your general stats are good, and that's why you're running. It's also why you're running Surge. You're just going to need survival out here. You're going to get snared and chain rooted in Cyrodiil, because that's the world that you live in there. So you really need to pack on survival. Oh, right. I was going to show you the pots. Okay. So let's move this real quick. So I was trying out 2 pots. I tried out different pots. These are different pots than I've used before. Since it's busting again, we're going with Grant's Major Savagery. It's going to up crit rate, restore stamina before we go in, and a movability. You need a movability with this, or you're going to gap close in, and halfway to gap closing, you're going to get hit by like a Templar Spear, 2 Crystal Fragments. You're going to be just laying on the ground. You're dead by the time you CC break. You're just going to get knocked down. Expect to go in like with the movable, already be getting hit, like you're going to Dawn Break, reverse slice, and you're going to roll dodge blocking and get ready to rally if needed, or go to your back bar to Vigor. And then you're going to like streak through your targets, and you're going to start working down other people and stay alive. Keep your heals running. Use your streak to CC people and kind of lose them, shake them on corners, buy time. You know, get ready for another strike. But that is why a movable is so key. Like, if you do this build, like, you are just going to get lit up. If you try to lead, and that's mainly what I do in my group play, is we'll see a target, and this is what Stam Sorc, I really enjoy playing it. Like, my Stamplars have to run into the target, right? And they'll do that, and they'll charge in. They get in there really quick. But I will immediately just crit rush. I can ult a combo here and, like, knock down a few people. And then behind is the range and the healers. I immediately just go right into them, and I streak through them. Okay? And they'll clean up and bash the front. That's when you start to get some real synergy of actually using the Stam Sorc for what it's really good for in small group play. So those pots are great. Savagery's good. Let me show you crit rate with those. Mid-fight, I sometimes pop these. If I know I'm just going to be CC'd for a while. If I feel I can close a kill, I'll just pop another one of these. Otherwise, I may go with this if I need a heal. Health, stamina, Savagery's back up. Reason being, regardless of the fact that a lot of people use Impen, you're still going to crit a lot of people that don't use Impen, and you're going to smash them with some serious damage on this build. You have a lot of pen, a lot of damage. But anyway, let me... So with this, we're upped on crit rate. Almost 50% there. I mean, that's all there is to it. Let me show you some gameplay clips, because hitting these mobs is not going to teach you how it actually plays out in a fight. But I will demonstrate by showing a couple clips, which I think... Oh, you know what? Sorry, CP. Let's do CP before we do that. All right, real quick. Warlord 100, Sprinter 17. I put nothing in regen because I get nothing out of there at all. Just, yeah, there's nothing coming out of regen. Tumbling 70, you're CC'd all day. 11 in Blessed. And you can move these CP around to whatever feels right, but this is what I have. I have a lot in Mighty. I could probably afford to put a little more here, so this would help my Dawnbreaker burst, but in general, this setup is what I ran with most of the time. I have a bit in piercing. You can probably start spreading the blue tree a bit more evenly right now and maybe make out better, I think. I have 52 in resistant, 43 hardy, 47 elemental, 35 thick skin, 10 quick recovery. Whether or not is your most ideal setup, I can't tell you, but that is what I'm running. And it's working out pretty well. So lastly, let's look at some clips of how this plays out in general PvP. And here is our first clip. Let me bring this up behind me full screened. And then I think I covered everything, though. My general stats, CP, and all that stuff. The pots to use. You can use poisons with this on the two-hander, and I did for a lot. But you can also just put a weapon enchant on it to refresh your weapon enchant if you don't want to do it on your bow bar. The poisons are still good, too, though. Whether it's cost reduction or just healing poison ones, which I posted in my last build. Any of that will work. Okay, so yeah, let's let this play and see what's going on here. I guess we can listen to it a little bit too, because this is group play in general. So here's me using the back bar. Caltrops, trap. Trap will boost your damage a lot, by the way. Pull them in the doorways. Trap. Like, I killed quite a few there, but I always feel like I should be killing more. This setup is a lot of damage. It's straight. I mean, the penetration on top of everything, it's... But, yeah, I mean, I already have another ult. We almost killed them all there, but that was just a single Dawnbreaker. As well as planned. Like, that was 4 guys that could have died with a combo of another breaker. Oh, boy. Which is why I say you really want to use it. In conjunction with other people, because outside of your ult, like, you're still doing great damage, you still sustain just great, so that's all still there. Come on, let's go. Gap closer's not working, man. I'm gonna ult. I already know what the issue was there. There's another good ult. Just bagged a couple. Having a Stamplar's great. Drain bodies after busts. See, he just used his Dawnbreaker. If we had Dawnbreaker that last one, if he probably just didn't have one up. If he had one up, we would have killed them all. Sometimes you can sync up your ults, and sometimes not. But when you get 2 really good setups like this, because he has a lot of damage too. Dumping my health. Let me a Vigor. I think we end up gonna pop the door in a sec. Here we go. Smashing this. I'm not sure actually. I cut this earlier in the week. It's another good breaker. I mean, it's just very hard for them to push through the door, and they have a lot of heals. You have to understand. Like, there's healing springs going off on that door, and Breath of Lice for that group. It's not. If they had no healing, they would die after the breaker, the Veladrith, and a reverse slice with Hurricane ticking. Most of them would be dead if there was just no heals while the guys that I hit were disabled. They would be done. So how long does this go on for?
How many are up there? Is it a lot?
2. Soon. This guy's a little tanky of a Sorc. I think he's running the Veladrith Tremor, or Tremor Viper. Once I caught him on block, I mean, knocked him up, he was done. A lot of roots coming in. Let's maybe pop to another clip. Close them down. Actually, I have 2 other ones to show. We'll
You got all those range, right?
I think so. I'm at full stam.
see my stam. Yeah, like we just cleared that whole thing. You can see my stam here. Just full after that. Oh, this is the clip I remember. This is where I killed the Emperor. That's why. I was wondering why I didn't cut it there.
Maybe not.
Just jump it ahead. This guy's in my trap. Replacing trap and caltrops. Because he doesn't have...
Right into a new trap, baby.
His block bills don't really have the stam to roll a lot. Or at all. If you get like a good light attack crit rush, or just a strong heavy attack into a uppercut, a lot of normal targets you can
have
kill
an
at that point.
Yeah.
I don't. Almost though.
Which reminds me, I'll show you
Going in with it.
after these videos. I will quick show a combo people ask about a lot
Oh, this is the Emperor.
with two-handed animations.
Impressive.
That was the
He's
Emperor.
down.
This what's he got? 40k health, over
This is the
40k.
Emperor. Impressive.
Done.
He's down.
All right, let's get another one. Dawn bomb. This was
Hatter's a
good
True
stuff.
Flame. This is True Flame.
Okay.
Sorry,
There's a
Hatter's.
lot rolling in behind us.
Go back to the ruins. Go to the ruins.
This is pretty short. This is just your normal coning people into chokes and stuff, which when you're massively outnumbered, you're going to want to do.
There's about 12 coming. I got a dawnbreaker.
There's two FENGRUSHs on screen.
They're coming in.
Same thing, caltrops.
Do we have a negate?
I actually position those caltrops inside. Like, I put them inside this dome, which means the caltrops would only hit them if they came in here. If you throw them outside and they're all the way out here, what you're going to do is make your Veldrith proc immediately. And it's the only reason, like, caltrops is so good to have and so good to use that if no one else is using it, I will put it down. But be mindful, when you put down your caltrops, your Veldrith is going to proc before you ult. It's going to proc as soon as it starts tagging everybody. So a good way to use caltrops is, say, if you get to a choke point and you can never put it down like that, where the caltrops won't hit them until they hit the point where you actually want it to proc. Like if they fight me inside here after I ult, they'll be in my caltrops. But I save my Veldrith proc, so when they cross the line, it's go time, and you're getting off a good proc when you want it. Just something small to point out.
Okay, I'm ready. Can I ult the back? Wanna do it?
Just pick here. Let them come in. We'll negate bomb.
Beautiful. Okay.
All right, push out on the range. Negate bomb. Everything. Everything.
Dawnbreaker.
Fucking ripped.
So that's like, so we have 3 Dawnbreakers there and a Negator and a healer in that group. But yeah, 3 Dawnbreakers will get the job done all the time. That's why when I get that group together, even in this meta, like that's 3 Dawnbreakers will do. That'll do the trick. 2 will do it too, but I mean like 3 gives you some more coverage to hit other areas too. This is a good one. Jump down a cliff.
Holton.
Yeah, let's do this again. These guys were chasing me. They were chasing. There was a lot from Ash. Ran him off the cliff. You can see I'm like out of resources. Coming down if I can.
Okay.
There's Tremor Scale procking on me. They're just
Oh.
jumping off, diving.
Drain when you can. Fucking ripped.
Hitting.
Is that Miss Casual staff
More
again?
jumping down. They're rising behind us.
Coming.
So you get down those combos, like you can just start cutting through some people.
Bang.
Is that a pile of bodies? Uh-oh. Alright, EP. Yeah, all right. So those are some good examples. But real quick, I mean, people always ask general combos. I'll just finish with this because I get it a lot. Is there something with a lot of health I can hit? Somebody hitting this. Okay. I think that dude just got smoked. Alright, anyway. General combo with this. So yeah, you can light attack when you go and you crit rush. When you arrive, you can do a light attack and then dawn break and then, you know, bash execute. That's like your go time combo. But other things, like when you're just in combat and stuff, be mindful that you have to keep rebuffing. And after you rebuff on your back bar, you can fire out a light attack just to proc that thing. Wind up a heavy attack like that, and put in a wrecking blow behind it, that's nothing new. That's pretty much like how you wanted to do it. The other big thing with wrecking blow, and again, wrecking blow has a big range, okay, which means you can backpedal as you wrecking blow and start winding up like a heavy attack, and you don't have to hold it for the whole thing, especially if you know the target is skilled enough that he's going to break pretty quick. You make it a medium attack. I'll kind of show you what I mean. Fuck, just died. Wrong thing. So that was just an uppercut and a crit rush, but you can uppercut, already be holding this thing, and release it. Okay, so you're uppercutting while holding like this medium attack. You're not going to do a full heavy, but you're going to uppercut, hold a medium attack, and then do a crit rush after. And once that crit rush hits, you know, you can come down with your execute or dawn break. You're basically mixing in things. I mean, you want to get a feel for your target. If he's got 35k health, then you know you probably have to come in with this combo where you're like, all right, we're going to start out with this. We're going to hit him with that, come in, light attack, and then execute. Maybe I have to dawn break him after that, and then execute again. It depends what you're fighting, and some targets are just going to be ridiculous to attack. Like if they're real tanky and you have the time and you're just in the middle of whatever with them, then fucking lay some caltrops on them and put a trap at their feet, dawn break them in that shit. Let them get rooted and just start rotating heavy attack, wrecking blow combos on them to like just wear them down. But the caltrop and the trap will do wonders for you. That will kill those tanky people. Useful to use. But yeah, I think that kind of covers a lot of it. It's animations, skills, equipment, combos. Some good info, I guess. Again, it's a strong build. It does a great job in a meta that's kind of really changed quite a bit, mainly from equipment. Like the targets you're actually hitting are going to change over the next month or two, and they may get worse. By worse, I mean there'll be some people that are even more defensive, and you're going to have a lot of proc builds. This does go toe-to-toe with proc builds. I fought a lot of people using like my last build that I made, which is kind of like the meta mix, like a Viper and Tremor. And that shit's really annoying. It is. And if I was in a 1v1 with an equally skilled person, the guy running that combo should beat the shit out of me because he should be able to telegraph my things and just block them while still rolling out damage on me that I'm not blocking because I'm using two-hander. I have a lot of healing. I can probably go for a while, but if he stays on my ass and just bashes my Dark Deal, in my case, it's over. This build will work on other Stam builds. I'll utilize some of the things from this build on other ones. DK is probably the one I'm looking at. Also, like, this can tie to a bursty Nightblade, but honestly, you might as well use Viper on a Nightblade if you just want to dick people down. But yeah, the build's still fun. It's very good. I think nerfs will come to the proc sets, and that's why I tried to make a build that is not relying on proc set. It really isn't. I think if you took proc sets out of the equation, this would be a top tier competitor for like what could be like the most brutal thing to face. Black Rose and whatever and that stuff, like meta builds from last patch, they go toe to toe with this. I think they have more sustain for a 1vx, whereas again this specializes in group burst. So have fun with the build. Let me know if you have any questions. That'll be it.